Consider the following array whose name is values. Okay, which of the following loops would adequately add 1 to each element stored in values? Now, if we see for all of the for loops, we do see values at the index j plus plus, which means that whatever values at index j is will be increased by 1 and will be incremented. So that is the same on all of them. So really the only difference here is the for loop and what we're using j as, what we're starting and ending at. Every single j value will increase by 1 because j here is representing the index. So the question is, what are all the valid indexes that we actually want j to go through? Now remember, the indexing starts with 0. So the indexing should start with 0. For that reason, A and E cannot be our answer. We need j to start with 0. Then j will go up by 1 each time, and we need it to stop at the length, but not really at the length, because remember, the length is always going to be 1 more. If I did values.length, this number would be 7, since if I count, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values, 7 elements in this array. So if I include 7, if I say I want j, my index, to continue as long as it's less than or equal to this length, then I will actually be using index 7, because 7 less than or equal to 7 would be true. And then this would actually give me an array index out of bounds exception. It will give me an error, because when it tries to go ahead and access the index or the value at index 7, it would error since there is no index 7. So using less than or equal to the values.length will not work and will give me an error. So C cannot be the answer. And D will not work either, because it's saying that we're going to continue as long as j is less than the values.length, which is 7, minus 1. Minus 1, the values length minus 1. So this means that we're only continuing as long as j is less than 6, which means that the last valid j value that will make this correct will be 5. 5 less than 6 is true. And so this would stop at index 5, because when j becomes 6, 6 less than 6 is false, which means that we would not increment the value at index 6 by 1. So this D, using the for loop on D, will actually stop short. B is the only correct one that will continue as long as j is less than the values.length, which is 7. The last value of j that would make this true would be 6. 6 less than 7, that's true. It would increment the value at index 6, and then it would stop. Because when j becomes 7, 7 less than 7 is false, and so then we will not try to run the code for 7. So B is the correct for loop.